Hi, my name is Daniel Zimmerman, and I'm here today to talk to you about the legal age of driving and why it should not be changed from 16 to 21. As a teenager, I see many careless driving mistakes, and it's easy to say that most teens are very poor drivers, and there is a lot of room to learn. And in the next 5 to 6 minutes, I'm going to give you many statistics that will lead you to my explanation of why I believe the driving age should stay the same. Now, many of us as teens live very busy lives, and that involves, work, doctor's appointments, sports, etc. And according to the recent data, nearly all young adults, 97%, have held the job between leaving high school and the age of 22. And that is actually from www.child10s.org, and has to do with youth employment. Many teens, we live busy lives, and not only do teens live busy lives, but so do our parents. And our parents aren't going to be able to be there for us all the time to get us to those things like work, school, most important, and other things like hockey practice or baseball practice or football practice or doctor's appointments. They won't be able to be there for us all the time, and that requires us to have more of the responsibility of driving, and it puts a lot more responsibility on us. And and that also goes with responsibility. We make many mistakes, and I believe that we need to learn from our mistakes. Like, the traffic accident rates from 16 to 19-year-old drivers are higher than those of any other group. What causes teenagers to be such risky drivers? And I believe it's because we don't have enough knowledge of the road. We haven't learned from our mistakes yet, because we're in the process of making mistakes. And that's the only way for us to learn, is by screwing up once in a while and making poor judgment calls. And so later on in life, when we come to the same problem, we know what decision to make like that, and we know what to do, how to handle things, and we'll grow as a person by learning from our mistakes. And if we're not given some responsibilities that adults are given, then we will never be ready for the outside world. I believe many parents should be blamed for not taking enough time with their kid to teach them behind the wheel and the ways of the road. Teenagers tend to take more risks while driving, partially due to their overconfidence in their ability. And that's actually from the DMV website, Teenage Web, and they talk about a lot of things like the deaths and seatbelt and all those cool little facts. And I think that if parents just took more time to teach their kids on the right way of the roads, I feel like a lot of these things could be avoided. You could teach them the little not to be overconfident, not what type of things to, like how to handle a hazard or something like snow, or over amounts of water in the road that'll pull you off the road if you're not careful. They need to be able to teach you risk perception, which is also from the DMV. Risk perception involves subjectively assessing the degree of threat posed by a hazard and one's ability to deal with the threat. And as young adults, we have not gone through that experience yet, so we need to learn from that. And there's no other way than to learn from our mistakes. But also, parents need to be there to teach us, so we don't have to make some of those mistakes that will take a life and that we'll regret for the rest of our lives. Many teens live busy lives, and it would be extremely difficult on the parent if the teenager didn't have their license. Given the great responsibility of driving, teens will make mistakes. How teens as a whole are supposed to get to be adults if we don't learn from our mistakes. And many problems from teen driving can be solved just by a little bit of parent guidance and a little bit more than we've already had. Maybe raising the age of getting your permit from 15 and a half to 15. Giving us a whole half a year more to drive with our parents and learn the ways of the road. And by saying that I do not believe the age should stay at 16, I do believe that the age should stay at 16, doesn't mean I don't think there is a problem that needs to be fixed. I do, but making our kids less ready for life, so I don't think that's a very good solution to the problem. And we need to be taking things into our own hands and teaching kids better habits behind the wheel instead of blaming all the deaths on teenagers. Yes, they are single-handedly responsible for that, but I feel like we could have made a step before that ever happened to teach our kids, not to drink and drive, not to do these things that cause deaths on the road. Thank you for giving me the last 5 minutes of your time. I hope I made you agree with me when I say that the age should not be raised to 21. Thank you, and again, my name is Daniel Zimmerman.